It started quietly, with a single signature that changed everything. King Charles approved a new royal rule, short, simple, but sharp enough to slice through generations of royal tradition. It said that any child wanting to stay in the royal line of succession must be raised full-time in the United Kingdom under direct royal supervision. No loopholes, no special cases, no sweet exceptions. And when that rule hit the public, the silence that followed was louder than thunder. Everyone already knew who it targeted. Archie and Lilibet, Harry and Meghan's two little ones, born and raised under California's golden sun, thousands of miles away from the palace walls, were suddenly out. They had never joined royal Christmas walks, never lived behind the palace gates, never bowed before the crown's daily rituals. In royal language, that meant one thing: they were disconnected from the system. Inside Buckingham's glittering halls, whispers swirled faster than the chandeliers could sparkle. This wasn't just a policy update, it was a message. A message that the monarchy was moving on, that not every royal bloodline would continue by birthright alone. That belonging wasn't inherited, it was maintained. And for Meghan Markle, that message cut deep. Because for her, this wasn't just about status or titles, it was about identity. About her children being recognized as part of the story she had once fought so hard to enter. But now, that story seemed to be rewriting itself without her. The palace didn't need to say her name. The rule already did. It told her the monarchy decides who belongs, not you. And that was only the beginning. Before the ink on that decree even dried, King Charles introduced another rule. This time, the blow landed even harder. Only the children of active working royals would remain in the line of succession. In plain words, only those who served the crown, represented it, and stood on its balcony for duty, not for fame, would keep their places. Harry and Meghan had walked away from royal duties in 2020. They had chosen independence over institution, freedom over duty. And now, years later, that decision was circling back, tearing at the last royal thread that connected their family to the throne. Behind closed doors, advisors called it a structural update, a modern way to streamline the monarchy. But in Montecito, surrounded by roses and silence, Meghan saw it differently. To her, it felt like punishment. A cold, deliberate reminder that choices have consequences, that when you step away, the palace steps forward and closes the door behind you. It's not personal, the palace insisted, but how could it not be? How could a mother watch her children's names quietly vanish from royal lists and pretend it didn't matter? And just when everyone thought the storm had peaked, the palace released something even more unsettling, a clarity review. Normally, such reviews were routine, just clerical checks. But this one was different. This one was serious. The team assigned wasn't made up of mere office staff. It included constitutional experts, legal historians, and specialists in succession law. The kind of group that only appears when the crown suspects something might hold long-term consequences. Their focus? Everything linked to Harry, Meghan, and their children, from birth certificates and paperwork to the timelines of their departure from royal duty. They wanted clarity, precision, certainty, but to Meghan, it felt like something else entirely, an audit of her family's legitimacy. She saw it as invasion disguised as procedure. Quietly, efficiently, the monarchy was cleaning its records, and she feared her children were being erased from history, one document at a time. While the review unfolded, another figure emerged from the palace shadows, Prince William. For years, he'd observed quietly, learning from his grandmother, watching his father rise, studying every scandal the crown had survived. But those days were gone. Insiders said William had changed. He was no longer the patient observer. He had become the protector, the enforcer of the monarchy's future. Those who've spoken with palace insiders describe William as calm but unyielding, his patience for chaos gone, his tolerance for drama finished. To him, the monarchy's stability came before family ties, before brotherhood, before nostalgia. And when it came to Harry and Meghan's continuing controversies, the interviews, the documentaries, the endless noise, William saw one path: to protect the institution, even if it meant cutting off its own branch. He'll cut a limb to save the body, one advisor said bluntly. And he won't look back. To William, this wasn't revenge, it was duty. Where Harry had stepped away, William had stepped in. Where Meghan had questioned the system, William vowed to strengthen it. And where Charles began reshaping the monarchy, William planned to finish the job. Quietly, ruthlessly, with the precision of a man who knows one day the entire empire will sit on his shoulders. The message spreading through the palace halls was clear. The crown cannot afford instability not under William. But in California, Meghan was preparing for her own counterattack, and it wouldn't be quiet. Sources close to her revealed that Meghan had begun speaking with legal experts in both California and the UK, exploring whether these new rules violated the historic 1701 Act of Settlement, the centuries-old law governing royal inheritance. To her, the timing felt deliberate, a targeted strike meant to push her children out of the royal picture entirely, a legal erasure of their birthright. Her lawyers warned her of the dangers that challenging the monarchy was not a simple lawsuit, it was war, a public one. It would drag private documents, personal communications, and buried royal secrets into the light. Once begun, there would be no way to contain it. Still, Meghan seemed ready to fight, because this was no longer about her. It was about Archie and Lilibet, about recognition, about their place in history, about not being written out of a story she once helped rewrite. But there was one person caught painfully between both worlds, Harry. If Meghan pursued legal action, Harry would be forced to make an impossible choice. Stand by his wife and challenge his own family in court, or side with the crown and risk breaking the bond he had promised to protect forever. It's the choice he's dreaded since the day he left the palace gates, and it's finally arrived. For Meghan, this battle is about dignity. For the monarchy, it's about order. For Harry, it's about survival, choosing between the two halves of his life that can never exist together again. The storm hasn't officially begun, but the thunder is already echoing through both worlds. One side, the crown is closing ranks, tightening its rules, rewriting its legacy. The other, Meghan is ready to challenge the system, heart first, fists clenched. King Charles is firm. William is unshakable. The palace is united, the rules are permanent, and the succession line is cleaner, narrower, and colder. But Meghan won't accept it. Not quietly, not this time. To her, these updates are acts of erasure. That clarity review feels like intrusion. Every piece of paper filed in London feels like another wall built between her children and their heritage. The distance between London and Montecito, once emotional, now feels physical. Oceans wide, icy, permanent. And standing helplessly in the middle of it all is Harry, a man torn between loyalty and love, between a family that raised him and the one he built. He feels the pressure building from both sides, the expectations, the accusations, the silence that says more than any speech ever could. He knows that if Meghan goes through with the case, the monarchy will respond hard. And when that happens, the palace walls that have kept secrets for centuries will tremble. Documents will surface. Voices will be heard. Memories will be forced into daylight. And when that happens, there's no turning back. This is the calm before the break, the moment right before everything collapses. The moment when the future of two royal children becomes the center of a constitutional storm. When a family conflict turns into a royal reckoning. The monarchy is evolving, remolding itself with cold precision. Meghan is resisting, fueled by maternal fury and wounded pride. Harry is bracing, trapped between two worlds that no longer recognize each other. What's coming next won't be gentle, it won't be quiet. The palace is preparing for impact, Meghan is preparing for war, and Harry for heartbreak. Because this isn't the end of the story, it's the ignition. The spark before the explosion. And once it begins, nothing, not the crown, not California, not even time itself will ever put this fire out again.